Hi, fam. Um, I was talking to, as always, a friend of mine where we're speaking about how vaccine works, and she said to me what I made her realize on that day. She felt like I've never explained it like that, or no healthcare worker had ever explained it like that to her, so she never understood till that conversation. So let me tell you what we're talking about. So I was talking about this is more like herd immunity. Herd immunity, vele nje, you know the word is taken from herd. Uyabona group yeyilwane from there. So herd immunity is when kune protection among the population ekhoswa ukuthi majority of people are protected. So if abantu abaningi, like majority of people are protected, we are going to make it difficult for an infectious disease or an infectious pathogen to circulate. So people are getting sick at the same point in time because there would be a bug that's circulating, right? So in case of herd immunity, if most people are having some sort of immunity against that bug, it means was circulate, and that is how we achieve diseases that end up being eliminated or even eradicated, like smallpox. Yes, with the smallpox, kwaba ne massive global vaccination mandate. Everyone had to be vaccinated, and then yaphela ngaloko. So it never, it was eradicated in that way because everyone got vaccinated, so there was no one it could infect again. So that's basically how herd immunity works. So let's look at an example on my diagram on top there. The people in blue, they are not immunized, right? They are healthy as well. Our red, they are not immunized, but they are sick. If they are sick, it means they are contagious. By the way, this is in context of infectious diseases, right? Because some diseases, they differ. Not every disease gets to be transmitted the way this does. So this is applicable if, number one, it is, we're talking about an infectious diseases. And number two, it has to be a disease that is highly transmissible and is being passed on from person to person. That's when herd immunity is applicable. It is not applicable in general against all diseases. It's only those type of diseases that I'm telling you about now. So CTO box number one, the blue people, they are healthy, but they're not immunized. If no one is immunized, the contagious disease spread easily through the people because they are susceptible or they are prone to catch it because they are not immunized. That's why when we look at the right hand side, we can see that everyone turns red. It means the two people on the left that are red, they are able to transmit whatever they have to the rest of the other people. And then disease number two, it's some sort of a population that is immunized, but the majority is still not immunized. Still, disease is being spread, although it kind of like spares those that are immunized. It doesn't get to infect them, but you can still see which majority of people are infected. And then on the example number three on the left hand side, we can see that in this case, majority of the people are immunized. So there's some sort of herd immunity because there's a high percentage of the population that is immunized. Therefore, they form a barrier or a blanket of protection that prohibits this bug to infect people, to circulate and infect people. So most of the population gets immunized and the spread of contagious disease is now contained. As we can see on the right hand side, there's few people that are sick, but not everyone is, as opposed to when there's partial herd immunity in the middle and no immunity at all and on the top example. So this again shows how when we all get vaccinated against a certain pathogen that is highly contagious and is being passed from person to person, we are also able to protect those that cannot get vaccinated. Remember, AMA vaccines, you get them, you need to qualify to get them. Your body needs to be able to handle them. But in case people that can't get them, like sometimes it's small babies or people that are very old because they are frail, they'll suffer from the side effects, and they get uber complicated, or people with comorbidities, people with like that are immunosuppressed, immune system, yeah, but that is weak. At the time they are not able to take on a vaccine because side effects of vaccine may be strong and then complicate their health. So it's dependent on us at the time of the context, right? So if it's important for those that are able to take the devices to take it, because we're also taking it for those that who can't. So it works with that barrier. As long as majority of the people are taking it, and then it prohibits other people to actually get it. If there's a blanket, like majority of the population are vaccinated against a certain pathogen, we're able to protect everybody else by ensuring the bug itself fails to circulate and infect us. So that's basically how herd immunity works. So yeah, I hope it makes sense. I did say there's examples of diseases where this is applicable. It's not every disease, even among the infectious diseases that can even be passed from person to person, not all of them herd immunity is applicable. So there's diseases that have very short, or immunity corner winds very quickly. Herd immunity doesn't work in that context because there will be frequent exposures and infections. So if immunity wanes quickly, it means your immunity at the time of immunization, it doesn't protect you from subsequent infection episodes. Like your flu, we're getting flu vaccines every single year because we can't say we got flu vaccine once off, and then I'm protected for the rest of my life. Unlike polio, we get vaccinated with polio once off, or diphtheria, a tetanus, well, we get some boosters there and there. Anyway, with tetanus, it's not applicable because the source of infection is an environment, not really from person to person. You see, so it matters. I think next time we'll talk about epidemiological triage. So these are concepts that we use in epidemiology to better understand the disease and the occurrence of a disease and how it's being transmitted and how we can best control it. So in the case of measles now, we get immunized as babies and we never get to immunize again. I think I'm shots away to 2 or 3 somewhere there, and then we are good to go, right? Because we had immunity. But if there's now new generation of people that are coming and they are not immunized, they make it possible for these pathogens that we never saw anymore because of herd immunity. We start seeing them again. So after COVID, for instance, people started having doubts kuma vaccines in general. So even the parents, they started, and the caregivers banking vaccination of their babies. Therefore, we started seeing the outbreaks that we see now, like measles outbreaks. We started seeing polios. We started seeing diphtheria. We started seeing all these outbreaks that we haven't been seeing in more than decades because of herd immunity. But the moment we drop the herd immunity, or the percentage of the people that are required for that disease to be immunized against, to maintain it or to contain it, the proper word, the accurate word is to contain it. If that percentage of that particular protection among the population at a population level drops, then we get to see that particular pathogen re-emerging. So that's why currently we're seeing these diseases that we even forgot that they exist re-emerging. It's simply because during COVID and after COVID, people stopped going for vaccination in general for all vaccines, not just the COVID vaccine. So the COVID vaccine propaganda and misinformation went on to affect or to push people to have doubts in science in general. So as a result, herd immunity among key infections that we never saw in decades, they started coming back. But anyway, I hope it makes sense on how herd immunity works and how us protecting those that can't take a vaccine, it's well understood, and that vaccines in infectious diseases that are highly contagious, it works better if majority of the population are vaccinated against that particular disease. So I'll end it here today. I think we'll do epidemiological triad in the next video, or maybe R not. Actually, it links better with this.